So how do you think about decision making in the context of running your business? Obviously, we're living in a data-driven world. It's important to take the insights that you have in front of you, but a large number of good business decisions also come from the gut. So how do you sort of think about the decision-making process in the day-to-day?
I suppose in the earlier parts, you don't really have that data yet. So you have to rely on your instinct, and actually relying on it at that stage allows you to kind of hone it and kind of figure out what feels right and what doesn't. I think when you've got the data, you should pay attention to that. But sometimes, despite that, there's been certain situations where me or Jay, for whatever reason, have made a decision. And so there's been a situation where Jay was like, I feel really strongly about this. And I've just been like, okay, let's go with your gut on this one. And so I think you have to weigh it up. But I think if you've got data to make decisions, you should follow that. You'd be a fool not to. But then there's situations where you don't have that.
And on that specific decision you just mentioned, was it that the data was pointing in the other way and Jay was sort of like confident that the opposite direction was the one to go in? Or was it just a very strong sort of felt sense that, this was the proper course of action to follow?
Yes, I think it was more, he just had a gut feeling to avoid doing, there wasn't really a huge amount of data. It was a weird thing to have such a strong feeling about. And so we were like, okay, let's go with that. And it's proven, good. So I'm glad that we did follow Jay's advice on that. But me and Jay have a system, which is if you really care about something, you've got to scale it out of 10. So if you're like, no, this is 10 out of 10 important to me. And so I'm like, well, it's 2 out of 10, so let's go with your gut on this one. And that is a really good way of just kind of figuring out, because sometimes you argue for things because you feel you should, whereas occasionally if you're like, no, this really is critical in my mind, that's a good way of communicating that, I suppose.